today I'm here for Top 5 Tuesday, and like lately I've been doing videos about like overhyped and underhyped and just different ways that people talk about books, but today's theme is going to be the top 5 books that I definitely think deserve the hype. I definitely think there is 3 possible topics that you can do with this. Would say books that don't deserve the hype would be overhyped book, underhyped book, and ones that deserve the hype but they don't have it. So these are the books that definitely do deserve the hype and they have the hype. Hopefully that all made sense and I'm just excited to get into this video. The number 5 on my list is ACOMAF by Sarah J Maas. So this book definitely is the best out of the whole trilogy. I definitely do feel The Court of Mist and Fury is where she got even more popular, because like, yeah, we did have quite a few of the Throne of Glass books out, and when The Court of Thorns and Roses came out, everyone was kind of about it. Like, it was an okay book, like I enjoyed it. It was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, it was a lot of fun. But when this book came out, oh my god, I think we all lost our shit, and I have not been able to stop thinking about this book, and it is definitely in my top 5 favorite of every single book that I've ever read in my whole entire life. So I just love the development of Feyre in this book and the relationship that develops with Rhysand as well, and knowing more about the Night Court and the Inner Circle, and just all my favorite characters are in this book, and it's just so important to me. Every time I see people talking about this or having it in their Instagram photos, it is so worth having them because these are the best. And honestly, on Instagram, photos that have Throne of Glass or ACOTAR in them actually do better than like most other photos, and that just shows how much hype there is. Number 4 on my list is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I actually mentioned this when I was talking about Shadow and Bone in my overhyped video, because Shadow and Bone doesn't deserve the hype, but this book does. This book is my everything. I love this band of characters. They all work so well together, and it's just such an interesting story. It just made me want to keep reading, and I was so glad that I finally did decide to read it. And I did buddy read this one with my friends, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we did pick it up just to do a buddy read. If I can remember, I don't even know what I did in my life. But Nina is definitely my favorite character from this series. I think she's great. She is just such a role model, and the banter between these guys, and they're a real found family group, and they're perfect, and I can't wait for there to be a 3rd book because that is happening. And I still really need to read King of Scars, and I really should try and get on top of that, but I have not been. Number 3 on my list is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I only read this book recently, but before I read it, there was so much hype, and I was so scared to get into this because I'm like, what if I don't like it because everyone's obsessed? This is a book that like everyone needs to read, and I actually listened to the audiobook and it was such a good experience, so I highly recommend listening to the audiobook if you're going to pick this up. I definitely know I'm going to reread this though in the physical form to see how different it feels to me than like listening to it. I love Evelyn Hugo so much, and she is just a stone cold bitch that got everything she wanted because she worked so hard, and all of her husbands, it's such a great story to follow, and they just want to know what's going to happen. I loved it. Number 2 on my list is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I love this book. It's actually my favorite book of all time, if you didn't know. When I read this, I remember like on Book Depository it was like recommended to me, and I like heard of it, but I wasn't really sure what it was about, so I bought it, and that was when I only had like 10 books on my TBR. It feels weird to remember when that was a thing. Like literally in my first booktube videos, like I had one shelf, like one little shelf, and then it just went apeshit out of control when I got these in, and I'm like, I have room now to buy books that I have not read for 6 million years. But I read this and I absolutely loved it. I just couldn't get over it. Like, I just could not get over how good this book was. I'm pretty sure it's been 5 years since I read this book, if I remember, because I read it around about when I got City of Heavenly Fire. But as the years progress, I've just been seeing so much love for this book, and especially now that the Endless Sea is happening. Oh, I am so excited, even though that covers. Oh. But yes, I love this, and I want everyone to read it and enjoy it. And number 1 on my list is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas, because this one deserves it so much, because it has such an important meaning, and it really opened up my eyes when I read this book to know how the world really is. Like, we did know about police brutality before, but to actually be in the point of view of someone who had to go through it, and to have the racism that happens to them every single day, and people like me would never understand that because my life has been pretty privileged and easy, but like to actually be able to read this book and to experience it in a different way is such an empowering sense for me as a reader. And I'm so glad that literally this book hit the world and everyone lost it. Like, everyone lost it, everyone started reading it, and I'm so glad that this is required reading now in a lot of schools in America. Like, I don't know if it's happening in Australia. I'm just so glad that there's so many people reading this book and enjoying it and really understanding it. And I do feel like as a community in BookTube, we all kind of changed after we read this book as a collective and also as individuals. So this one is definitely my number one because it deserves it so much and it's such a good book. So these are the 5 books that I definitely think deserve the hype, and if you have not read them, I don't know what is wrong with you. Why have you not? But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.